Are you being influenced? Are you aware that you may be being influenced every single day? Are you aware that you may be being influenced right now? Fellow Athenians, I'm going to be talking about 3 powerful influence principles that are all around us every single day. But first, I'd like to tell you a story about a turkey and a polecat. You see, it's an incredible story because when a turkey is rearing its young and it's bringing up all the little chicks, and all the chicks are making that little noise, that little cheep, 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 cheep. Because you see, the turkey brings up its young primarily on audio alone. And what they found is that if one of these chicks suddenly stops making this little cheep cheep noise, the turkey can actually turn on it, and has been known to even kill its young, which I personally think goes a little bit too far, but that aside. Well, some scientists did some really interesting studies, and they got a polecat, which is the arch enemy of the turkey, and they brought it towards the turkey. And the turkey obviously began scratching and hissing and protecting its young, because this is the arch enemy, the polecat. So then what the scientists did, they made a recording of this little cheep cheep sound. This cheep cheep, cheep cheep. And they put it inside a stuffed polecat. And then they got the polecat and brought it towards the turkey. But this time, because the turkey was hearing this cheep cheep noise, it didn't start scratching and hollering and protecting its young. What it did was actually take the polecat in as one of its children. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, what a stupid turkey. Right? Who would do that? Who would take in an arch enemy with one little simple trick? It was one trick that suddenly went inside his head, and all of a sudden, its enemy was its children. Well, the amazing thing is that we have the same things in our own head. We have these little switches that, when activated, can make us change our behavior. So the 3 power principles, the first one is the principle of authority. So what's authority? Is when we're shown anything to do with authority, it might change our behavior. An example would be, let's say we're walking down the street and somebody comes up to you and says, give me your wallet. Obviously, it would be silly just to hand over a wallet, right? You wouldn't do that. But then, with the principle of authority, what happens this time is if 2 police officers come up and they say, there's been some accidents around here, we're going to have to search you and check your identification. Now, a lot more people will be, okay, yeah, of course, there you are. And the amazing thing is, they don't have to be police officers. This image of authority flicks a switch in our head, and all of a sudden we're doing things that we wouldn't normally do. Not such a stupid turkey after all. Well, the second power principle is the principle of social proof. And this principle says that if other people are doing it, then we're more inclined to do it ourselves. So here's the scenario. We're walking up to a busy main road, and there's cars, may be coming, may not, but obviously we're going to look to the left and to the right. Obviously, right? Because if we didn't and the car comes along, then all of a sudden, it could be lights out. Well, with the principle of social proof, what could happen is you come up to the street, not really paying attention. In your peripheral vision, we see people crossing the road, and the principle of social proof kicks in. It flicks a switch, and you assume it must be fine to cross the road. Obviously, cars could be coming, cars could not be coming, but it's a principle that's changed our behavior. Like the hen taking in its archenemy, the polecat. And the final principle of influence is the principle of scarcity. So what's scarcity? Well, scarcity basically says if there's less of something, then we impulsively want it more. So let me give you an example. We might be shopping one day. We've all been shopping before, maybe we see a lovely jacket and we think, oh, that's just my size. I'll take a look at that jacket. But we notice there's about 30 jackets on the rack, and we think, oh, maybe I'll go and get a cup of coffee, I'll make a decision, I'll come back, or I'll come back tomorrow. Well, now we apply the principle of scarcity, because the clever shopkeepers, they know the principle of scarcity. So what they might do is remove all of the jackets and put them in the back. And they'll only leave one jacket on the rack. And this time it creates this urgency. It's, oh, it's my jacket. It's in my size and there's only one left. What if someone's going to take it? And that can be like a switch in the head and can make you buy certain items. So my challenge for everyone here is just notice in your everyday lives and see if you can pick up on these little principles of influence. See if you can notice anything on authority, social proof, and scarcity. And then ask yourself, am I being